Good evening once again. How many people know me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The rest are new friends. Wonderful. Good evening. So we are supposed to speak a little bit about Dharma. Dharma is, first of all, I should say that it is wonderful that we are able to come together on this day at the time when Buddha performed the miracles, 15 days of miracles. The reason that he performed these miracles were not because he liked miracles, but they were competitors from the evil forces. They were competitors. So they wanted to compete the Buddha. There is a story when the king at that time, Bimbisara, he offered some lavish food to the monks and teachers. Then the non-Buddhist kind of teachers, they were kind of seniors, so they would sit on the top of the line. And Buddha and his monks were allowed to sit in the last line or something like that. They're interesting stories. So anyway, gradually, because it was noticeable that Buddha had very special appearance, demeanor, or radiance, whatever you want to call it. So somehow he was really outdoing all those other teachers. So they become quite jealous. Then they said, we should really compete and perform miracles and see who is who is the one, who is the real Mike Lal Bulta nahi Hindi mein. So then the king Bimbisara said, no, there's no way you can compete with Buddha. Just stop. Don't talk about this. He was requested a few times. He did not, prepare that. Then they thought that now this Bimbisara is partial, he's with this Buddha. So they requested another king. Then who arranged it? When at that time Buddha had to go to Vaishali, not because he was running away from them, but he had to go there. And then they said, oh, see, now he's running away. We should chase him. They went there also. Anyway, then the miracle performance took place. So out of this 15 days of miracle performances, it is said that up to the 8th day, it is said to be a miracle performance, which if they are real competitors, they can compete a little bit. Then after that, for the rest are the days when nobody can compete the Buddha. So it is said this non-Buddhist teachers, they could not perform any miracle, even on the first 8 days. But if you read that, you can understand a little bit. But let me tell you right in the beginning, it's difficult to accept whether this is really happened to our ordinary judging, limited mind. It's impossible, When the miracles are performed, Buddha takes one toothpick and plants there and big tree comes up, all those things, you won't believe. So then if you don't believe it's okay, it's not important. What is really important for me to want to say is, what is miracle? If somebody is able to do something which you can't do, it's miracle. Our being able to hear something through television, see something, for many of us who have no idea, it's a miracle. That's miracle in the ordinary sense. But then from the Buddhist sense, the real miracle is if you had lessened your negative emotions a little bit, that is a miracle. Real miracle, beneficial miracle. So that's what I want to talk about today, right? So we need to find within ourselves some of our weaknesses, some of our negative emotions, especially the predominant ones. If you are a very hot-tempered, angry person, and then by attending these sessions and teachings, and also your life's lessons, if you're able to reduce that anger a little bit, that is a miracle. That will really make you peaceful, happy, and that will help you live in harmony with others. That is miracle. So what we are trying to do when we do Buddhist practice is to reach those miracles, which is reachable. The good thing is, so we need to start talking about taking the baby steps, If you suddenly think about Buddha, who is Buddha? Completely omniscient Buddha, who knows everything, who has removed all the bad things, Again, our small mind can't believe this. The very possibility to become Buddha is not easy to digest. So don't go there right now. Start from the beginning by saying, if I make some effort, can I change? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you can change. That is good news for me. And especially I want to tell you that the good thing with this training of the mind, which we do in the Buddhist practice, is that there is a huge difference between training the mind and training the body. In the case of training the body, you give as much training as you can. Many people are crazy about that. They do that also. They push themselves to the limit. They do it, I know. But there's a limit after which they can go, not beyond that. For example, take the example of the world's number one gold medalist in long jump, let us say. So he may be the world's number one in long jump, gold medalist, may have won gold medal a few times, but still he is not satisfied, practice jumping a little bit more. How much progress he can make? A little bit maybe. But it never come to the state where we can say, okay, this man is now jumping from one mountain to another mountain. Have you seen something like that? Have you seen something like that? So therefore, there's the thing. So in terms of material progress, we should understand this limit. Everybody says, the sky is the limit. Yes, हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं ऐसा कुछ नहीं जो हम नहीं कर सकता. There's nothing we can't do. That's what we say. But that is, I think, not true. Number one, it's not true, and it's also stupid to try to do everything. Because by trying to do everything, for example, if you are a perfect, very wonderful teacher right now, then not satisfied with that, you take another job. You become an apprentice, start from there, do something. Then you do this for 5 years. Then you give that up, do something else. Yes, everybody has a right to change, but then you need to be very careful. If you keep on, practicing these trade-off practices, you will be wasting your life. You're not settled. You're not living in the present moment. You're not satisfied with this. Go for the next one. You're not satisfied. This is actually happening in the world today. You marry somebody thinking that, oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, he's so handsome. Oh, for a few days. Then you change it. Oh, this one didn't work. The next time, this one will work. You get a new wife for a few months, few years. Then you give that up. You never see the shortcomings with yourself. You always, change the furniture, change the outside things, including your wife. It never works. Never works. So it is not similar in the case of training the mind. When you train the mind, then you can really say sky is the limit. Right? In the case of external object like boiling water, you boil it, become hotter, then what? 100 degrees centigrade. Still boil it, then what happens? Changes into vapor. You see, it will not become hotter. But in the training of the mind, most of you, you're all educated, how much you've learned. You've learned so many things, but your mind can still learn so many other things. It is not like gigabyte, it's like terabyte, whatever, even more than terabyte. What is the next level of terabyte? Yeah, your mind has all those things. But the thing is, important thing is, as Shantideva said, life is short. There are too many things to do. And it is not important to do everything on the earth. It's not important, no need to do. We proudly call this age of information. Yes, there are a lot of information, but much of the information is junk information. You don't need that. Even with the information, it is strained, it is kind of biased, unfortunately. Right? So you have to be very careful even with getting the information. You can't just take everything as true. Right? So therefore, what you really need is be with yourself. Most of us are extroverts. We are all running outside. If I get this building, I'll be happy. If I get this wife, I will be happy. If I get this car, I will be happy. When you get this car, oh, this car is okay, but then you go for the next, And I was reading an article which says that in the case of team, for example, a football team or a cricket team, in the beginning they do very well because their job is just to win. As a team they want to win. Now when they win, then they get a lot of accolades and some money. Then they start, okay, now I want this building, I want this wife. Then your attention goes to so many other things. Then there is infighting, things like that. Then they lose. That is the story, you see. That is the story. So therefore, somebody asked a gentleman, what kind of career I should choose. Then this man with the wisdom, he said, be a good human being. Because in that line, there is no competitor. So that for me I read this morning, That was very powerful for me. Because then, not many good people, unfortunately. Right? But to be a good person is actually the most important resource anybody can have. So that's why I'm saying be with yourself, recognize your very special potential. And I tell people that don't from any way denigrate or look down upon yourself. You are unique, whoever you are. Never ever think that I can't do or I'm weak or anything like that. Because you are the only original copy in this whole world. Which means you are very special, very unique. Very unique. So unique, when you understand this uniqueness, you don't have to be similar like Elon Musk or Bill Gates. Now these days you know a lot about Elon Musk. Right? But your talent may be something else. Your capacity may be something else which nobody has, you see. So recognize that. Right? And then recognize the fact that you are born as a human being, not as a cow, not as a dog. One day a Western nun asked me, Geshe, please teach me some meditation. Then I told her, you want meditation? Learn meditation from me? Then this whole morning, you should imagine you're a cow, not a human being. That was what I told her. And the reason was, if she really, the whole morning imagined like a cow and lived like a cow, then she will understand what it means to be a human being. Normally we take it for granted, you see. Okay, I'm a man, I'm a human being. I don't have this, I don't have this. Right? You don't recognize your potential. How lucky you are. Right? And especially this amazing human intelligence that we have. You cannot waste this amazing intelligence you have. You should use this human intelligence in the right way. The countless problems that we are seeing in the world today is because of corruption of human intelligence. Intelligence is used in the wrong way. Intelligence is used in making ballistic missiles, in making atom bombs, in bullying other people, in exploiting other people. And that's why we have so many problems in the world today. Water is polluted, air is polluted. Huh? You don't find many people to whom you can trust, because we are misusing our human intelligence. Now, if you use this amazing intelligence in the right way, you can also be like the Dalai Lama. You can also be like Mahatma Gandhi. You can also be like Nelson Mandela, right? So many great teachers. They're also like you and me, human beings, but they have this amazing human quality, love, compassion, integrity, and that's that. As a result of it, they themselves are happy. They made so many people happy. Nelson Mandela, I met him in South Africa. We had tea together when I was traveling with His Holiness. He was in this Robben Island in the prison for 20 years. So after coming out from there, he came intact and still preaching harmony and peace, things like that. You see? And then read the stories of some of the dictators, how they ended their life. It's horrible. You see? They are merciless in killing other people. When it comes to their own life, they are timid, they are scared. When Hitler was surrounded by his enemy and his entourage members, they said on that day he was completely pale and terrified. That's the thing, you see. Right? So therefore, irrespective of whether you are Buddhist or not, that is not important. The important thing is, as His Holiness the Dalai Lama always says, be a good human being with love, with compassion, with common sense. Although common sense is not very common, but common sense, and also use human intelligence. And one point that is really important is in Buddhism, we talk so much about love and compassion. And then many people think, and many people do experience that also, that if you be humble and practice love and compassion, you hardly can survive into this violent world. Just before coming here, I was having an interview, and there also they said, okay, your enemy is so powerful, they're merciless, they're destroying everything, they're using gun and everything. So how would you confront them with your tool of non-violence, compassion, and love? People feel like that, On the immediate glance, they feel like that. But if you think in the long run, that is the only solution, human solution. Tibetans can also kill the enemy. They can also bombard an embassy. So many things we can also do. But he said, no, no, no. You cannot move the physical borders between Tibet and China. Whether you like it or not, we need to live side by side. So now if we solve the problem through dialogue and negotiation, that is permanent solution. If we solve the problem by killing each other, the next time, the one who is more powerful will revenge and do all the destructive things. Right? So therefore, the point that I'm making is, when we talk about Dharma, Dharma is inner practice. Dharma means change. Change means change your mental attitude, not necessarily your clothing. Some people, when they follow certain tradition, then they think they should change their clothes and hairstyle also. You can do if you like, but that's not the important thing. Important thing is change your attitude, change your mind. Change your mind from where? From negative to the positive. Now, in order to change your mind from negative to the positive, you need to see with a fair, logical mind the benefits of a positive mind and the destructiveness of negative mind. You need to do this. Like a scientist, you need to, like a researcher, you need to don't just listen to teachers or teachings. You can listen, but don't just listen to them. You should do your homework and see. For the rest of your life, whether you want to become an angry man or patient person, cool, Everyone uses the word cool. If you want to remain cool, anger will not make you cool, right? So you really, this is so amazing, this Buddha's teaching, so amazing. It's a common sense thing. So now, for example, anger. Think about all the qualities about anger, bad or good qualities about anger. What does anger do? What kind of energy is created when you get angry? We all have the experience. Anybody wants to share? Share the experience. What was the experience when you got angry? Huh? Huh? Calm. Harm, yeah, harm. Exactly, exactly. So when you get angry, number one, you become ugly. So you ask yourself, you want to become ugly? As simple as that, really, honestly. Everybody, man, women, they want to be a presentable person, not ugly one, right? That's why we comb our hair. I have no hair, but we comb our hair. Put some cosmetics here, and put some, fragrance here. Perfectly, right? So the simple message is, if you want to be a beautiful lady, handsome person, don't get angry. Number one, this is only number one. This is the start of the story. Number two, you want to remain sane or insane? So when you get angry, do you maintain your sanity? You become insane. All the conflicts, fightings, killings that's happening right now in the Middle East, Ukraine, Russia, China, Taiwan, whatever, wherever. Insanity. Insanity means basically madness. So the simple question is, you want to become mad? What do you mean by becoming mad? Mad means when you have no sense of what you are saying, what you are doing, then we call this person a mad person. So you become that when you become angry. And also, anger will make your life very expensive. In America and elsewhere, because of anger, there is rash driving and accident. There is shooting and killing, even in the classroom. We see this all the time. And it is said that, for example, it should be in every country. In America, I have a book which says that America loses billions of dollars because of anger. If you don't want to think about future life enlightenment, it's okay. But think about this, right? There is nobody who right in the morning makes a motivation saying, today I will get angry. Is there anybody? So that means you already have some sense that anger is not good. But unfortunately, in the course of the day, you meet strange people, You flare up, you get angry, pick a fight with somebody, sometimes even physical fight, right? Then in the end of the day, you return home and reflect back that you fought with somebody. And then do anybody say, today I was angry, I fought with somebody, so I really enjoyed the day. Is anybody? Right? It's not there. Is there anybody who says, I was very angry today, and when I was going to bed also I got very angry, so I got very peaceful sleep? Dayana? Right? So these are common sense practices. And Buddha was concerned about our suffering. There was a monk by the name Malukya. He had received some teachings from Buddha, but he did not answer many of his questions earlier. So one morning, he thought about that, and then he said, I must go to Buddha and ask the question that the same question that I asked earlier. And if he answers those questions, then I'll follow him and be his student. If he doesn't answer this question, then maybe I'll go and find some other teachers. So he goes straight to the Buddha and says those things. Then the Buddha said, first of all, did I say that you should become my student? I'm not interested in having students. That is the sign of a good teacher. He's not looking for following. I have 5,000 people following me. See, when you die, nobody will follow you. Right? Right? So the Buddha said, first of all, did I say that you should follow me, be my student? He said, no. Then he gave this, told this story. Some of you might have heard it. This is a very famous story. If somebody shoots an arrow from an unknown distance and hits you with the arrow and you are bleeding, what would you do at that time? Would you immediately take the arrow out and take the needed medical treatment? Or you will ask all the questions related to this event. Who must have shot the arrow? What was the speed of the arrow on the way? And how powerful the arms of the person who shot the arrow? Even in this small incidents, if you keep on asking these questions, it will be endless thing. And long before you get those answers, you will be a dead person. So that's why I'm not answering many of these questions. When did the universe start? Whether there will be end? I didn't answer all of these things because my concern was overwhelming suffering that people are experiencing. I'm trying to help them reduce their suffering. So I'm not interested in many of these metaphysical questions. That I think is so wonderful, so amazing. We can have the luxury and comfort of talking about metaphysical things, that's okay. But the most, important thing is, how can we reduce anxiety? How can we reduce suffering? How can we reduce depression? How can we reduce loneliness? How can we reduce pollution? Those things which really directly concerns our life. That's very, very important. So with these practices of seeing the negative emotions as a negative, positive emotions as positive, and then practice it and slowly you change it, you will become peaceful, happy. And once you are peaceful, once you are happy, you can do many things very easily. An unhappy mind can't do much, can't concentrate. That's why when Buddha gave the teaching, the core of his teaching is the practice of the three trainings: training of morality, training of concentration, training of wisdom. Out of these three, the first is training in morality, which means unless you are ethical, unless your mind is calm, how can you concentrate? The second, concentration, you can't do. Third, wisdom, how can you analyze with a disturbed mind? You can't analyze. So the most important thing is be ethical. Now, be ethical means not following a discipline which is imposed upon you unwillingly by some external force. In Buddhism, discipline means just three things. One, remove the negative emotions, restrain the negative emotions. Two, cultivate the positive emotions or positive qualities. And third, help others. Others means not just human beings, other sentient beings. That is morality. It's not really like following some discipline and not moving and not speaking. Not that. Right? So therefore, a Tibetan teacher said, there is nobody who will catch hold of your hand and throw you into heaven. Even Buddha cannot do this. He never said, I'll do this. I can do this. Your parents, relatives, whoever, they can't do. Not because they are bad, but they can't do. Simply it's impossible. Similarly, there's nobody who will catch hold of your leg and drag you into hell. The Chinese leaders did a lot of suffering on the Tibetans, but they did not, they are unable to drag us into hell. They have no power. They themselves probably go to hell. Therefore, he says, your happiness, your suffering is in your hand. Do not cheat yourself. Of course, nobody intentionally cheat oneself, but because of ignorance, because of lack of knowledge, we do those things which you should not do, right? Right? And do those things which we should not do, and not do those things which we should do. That is cheating. That's why you get problem. So sufferings and problems are actually the result of the invitation that you extended. So when when you experience that, don't get shocked, don't get surprised. Right? So it's no good blaming others for your misfortune, for your problem. That's not the solution. Right? Therefore, the Buddha said, self is the protector of the self, no one else can be the protector. Buddha is the self is the enemy of the self, no one else can be the enemy. All right? Right? So Dharma, the word Dharma refers to many, many things, but it refers primarily to the path that leads you to liberation, leads to Buddhahood. That is Dharma. You need to practice that, which includes the three trainings which I have explained. That is Dharma. And when you practice this Dharma, then you get the result which is called cessation, true cessation of negative emotions. When you reach that state, you are completely protected. The true path and true cessation. And then likewise, the text, teachings, the sutras taught by the Buddha, commentaries written by Indian Tibetan masters, shastras, they are also, we normally call it Dharma. But the main Dharma is the content, subject matter that is taught in this text. Right? So, to make a long story short, we have a body and mind. Until now, we are primarily taking care of our body, not so much about our mind. Is that true? Why? Because we are very good in fiddling with those things which we can see, which we can touch, not with those things which we don't see. But you're not being able to see something doesn't mean it is not there. There are beings which your naked eye cannot see. Even small mosquitoes, they are very efficient. They are not big like you. They don't have like complicated nervous systems and brains, things like that, but they are very, very efficient. Then there are insects and bugs much smaller than this, which we can't see. Right? So they are very much there. Then take the example of the jellyfish. Among the jellyfish, there is one called immortal jellyfish, which doesn't have a brain, which I think doesn't have a probably nervous system also, maybe, but it doesn't have an organ, it doesn't have a blood, but it remains for millions of years. Right? So there are many different types of sentient beings there. So the point that I'm making is, the most important thing we need to take care of is take care of your mind. Mind is precursor to all knowledges. Mind is also very much related to your overall health, because if you are mentally, trained with certain ways of life, certain ways of thinking, certain food habit, you will not get sick. When your mind is not intelligent, stupid, then you follow all the advertisement. Okay, use this shampoo overnight, you will become, white. And eat this food, junk food. Eat this junk food, so good for your teeth. And then when I watch the advertisement, I used to think, who stupid fellow is following this kind of thing? Then later on, unfortunately, later on I realized that it's not one, just millions stupid fellow. Really? Now we call it junk food, And we are I should not use the not so nice word stupid, but innocent. Innocent, like small children, we are innocent. So the innocent people buy all this. junk food, which is not good for their health, where they have to spend a lot of money, and by which you are making some people rich. What is the fun there? So you should, through not just following the Buddha's teaching, but using your common sense, what is really good for you in the long run, not just for the tongue, for your overall health. What is really good? What should I drink? What should I eat? When should I sleep? When should I take rest? If you follow all this kind of protocol properly, you will not get sick. Right? So it's in your hand. So Dharma means adopting those ways of life which will help you not to fall down. If you develop anger, jealousy, and hatred, you will fall down. You will lead a life of disgrace, right? But if contrarily, if you do the good practices, you are well, you are happy. When you are well, you are happy. You will be surrounded by so many friends. When you are sick, very difficult. Right? So therefore, it is important to study and understand the teaching. But even more important than that is, whatever good things that you realize that this is something that I should do, then practice it. It shouldn't be like going to a hotel, reading the menu and doesn't eat and come back. No, it should not be like this. Practice it. Make it a habit. So meditation means habit formation, positive habit formation. Meditation means doing the good things again and again. These days, many people talk about sitting meditation, walking meditation. Okay, they're all good. I'm not against that. This is taught by Buddha also. But for me, the most important practical thing is get habituated with the positive ways of life. The reason we need to do the meditation is you are controlled by your mind, right? Is this true? You are controlled by your mind? You are controlled by your body or your mind? You said it, okay? You are controlled by your mind. There's no problem with there. The problem is the mind that is controlling you is predominantly stupid, short-sighted, negative. That's the problem. It's like dictator controlling you. So therefore, when we talk about doing Dharma practice, what we are saying is, I need a new leader. You stupid self-cherishing attitude, you stupid ignorance, you enslaved me, you become dictator. That's why I'm suffering. My family is suffering. The world is suffering. Now I don't want to do this. Now I read Dharma a little bit. I have some idea. So I'm going to do some revolution. I'm going to change you. I am going to dethrone you. Here you need to be a little bit bored. Don't say, I'm going to dethrone you. Negative emotions will not go away like this. You should say, gone are the days. Gone are the days when you enslaved me, when you cheated me. Now I know who you are. Get lost. Your anger, get lost. Your jealousy, get lost. Your attachment, get lost. Really, something like that. I mean, I'm not asking you to become very violent, but actually with these negative emotions, it's okay to be violent. Otherwise, it will not go like this, right? So therefore, it's an election is going on right now. The positive party and the negative party. So if you are a true Dharma practitioner, you need to empower and enthrone the positive emotions. Make bodhicitta president. Make wisdom realizing emptiness prime minister. Then love and compassion, all other ministers like that. So with compassion and love, you should always say, I'm really sorry. You're such an important thing. I did not recognize you before. Now I know. Please come, have a cup of tea. Say that. To anger and jealousy when they're coming, then as I said, no more. That is practice, very simple, right? So the speaking is easier. Practicing it on a regular daily basis is more difficult. But more difficult does not mean you cannot do it. Everything in life is difficult. Some people say, it is difficult. Oh, what is difficult and what is easy? It's very much determined, very much dependent upon your mental attitude. When your mind is ready, nothing is difficult. When your mind is not ready, everything is difficult. When you, for example, when let us say some of your friends decide to go for a picnic. Okay, let us go for a picnic. Okay, everybody is very excited. They pack their lunch, dinner, whatever, umbrella, everything, then go to a nice park somewhere. They are started playing. Suddenly there is hailstorm. Okay, very difficult now, right? But because your mind is ready, still in the hailstorm, you will sing and dance. And then later on, you will recall that event by saying, it was a fantastic day, It was not fantastic, but your mind was ready, so it became fantastic. When your mind is not ready, you may be sleeping in a 5-star hotel or anything like that, something, you have best friends surrounding you, good food, everything, but still you sit there. It's really your mind. So therefore, I always, in all these kind of talks, I tell people, whatever may come, don't make your mind unhappy. Be happy. There are many reasons to be happy. You have both hands intact, right? How many people are there who have no hands? Both eyes intact, both the legs intact. What else you want? Be happy. Recognize all the good things, then especially your brain functioning, So many good things. And then accordingly, you should use these facilities. This nice long hand is for hugging, not for eating. This nice fingers for shaking hand, not for using as a boxing, Then the teeth is for smiling. No other animals have this capacity to smile and show the teeth, you see, right? And then also when you express your love, your eye also become a little bit tender like the deer's eye going a little bit inside. All this there, whether you call it nature's gift or whatever, it is there. You need to recognize it. And then it is scientifically found with this kind of, good positive way of life is very good for your health. Right? That's it. Some questions. Really, it's no point talking too much. I have nothing much to say, and I've written so many things here. They are very, difficult terminologies, all these things. So yeah.
When we come into contact of such studies, Dharma studies or good study, a natural desire or an innate feeling to share this with others or at least with close ones arises. But we haven't worked on our delusions enough, so we get, a bit disappointed when they don't want to learn it or when they don't really see the suffering because of illusion. So the question is whether or not we should share these concepts with others, and if yes, how?
You should first see whether they are ready or not. If they are not ready, the Buddha cannot change everybody. Who are you and who are me? You see. So that's why when Buddha gave the teaching, he gave various levels of teaching, depending upon mental dispositions. I'll tell you one story. Not story, but suggestion that I made earlier. If your friend not ready to listen to you, but you are interested in the Dharma, so don't ask him to read the book. You read the book and smile, look very happy. Okay. Then when you go out, you place it like this. Then the monkey who is watching you, your friend out of curiosity will come and he might be hooked then like that. It's like that. Sometimes, if you ask people to do this, they don't do. If you ask people don't do, they'll do it. Right? And then also it's important You have the good motivation, that's wonderful, but never force other people. Even food, if you force, they don't want to eat. You can't force, you see. There is a time. There is a time. And then sometimes, if your friend is a smoker, you are not a smoker. Sometimes you sit with him, just take one puff. Not necessarily that you become a smoker, but take one puff to say that, to give the indication that what you're doing is completely bad. Not to say that you also take a puff. Then gradually say, oh, it is for me not so good. Gradually, mix with them. Dharma teaching is not just sitting on a throne like that. By being friend and really like showing the gradually telling things, they might change. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Being the person who don't want to change,
Yeah.
and we want to change them and we want to share Buddhism with them. But how can we practice if somebody practice our Buddhism if somebody don't want to change? Does it affect our
No. That's very similar to his question. When you try to help others, you show compassion, not worry. There's difference between showing compassion and being worried. When you show compassion, you feel some concern if that other person is not practicing. But because if it is genuine compassion from depth of your mind, it will not disturb you. But if it is not out of compassion, but as ordinary like attachment and obsession, things like that, then you get worried. Then it will disturb your practice also. And the important thing is, by getting worried, is that the solution? If that's the solution, please worry. That's not the solution. So therefore, that's what the Buddha is saying. If it's not beneficial, don't do anything. It's beneficial, then do it. Like, for example, when one of your very close, relatives die, you cry, right? It is understandable. You cry. Some people even shout, oh, all these things. Is it useful? It's not useful. Number one, if you don't want to, cry for the death of somebody, then why you have been living with this person for so long? Much before you should have separated from this person, so you don't have to cry, right? Right. And then meeting is parting. If you had understood this much earlier, then you should have done all the good things that is possible to do. And when that person dies, okay, I did everything possible, so nothing to regret, right? So it's really that's why this is related to bigger issue. If you understand how the law of nature functions, that's why we talk about understanding dependent origination, understanding emptiness. Because when you understand how the intricacy or interplay of all these things, it's not worth paying too much attention to small things. Wasted your time. Because our mind is small, then we get bogged down with small things. Right? Okay? Yeah. Yes.
Someone who's beginning to look into these things,
Yeah.
maybe happiness is a little bit elusive.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering, what makes you happy? How do you define it?
In my case, yeah, this is because I keep on talking about happiness. Many people, sometimes people, are not so sure whether I'm really the one who is speaking is really happy or not. Was this is really true, very very true. So once I was giving similar kind of talk to a small group who came from Seattle some years back. I spoke something like this. Then I finished the talk. I went downstairs and I was walking actually towards my room. So there was one lady who really chased me, saying, Geshe, I have a question. And I said, what? Are you really happy? I said, yes, I'm happy. Why? How? I said, I have a place to sleep. I have food to eat. And I have very good friends around, talking to them good things. So I'm happy. But are you not living alone? Yes, I live alone. But in a way, not alone. I'm surrounded by books. This is how people think about happiness. Happiness means you live with somebody. There's nothing wrong with living somebody. I'm not implying anything. But the problem of the human society is people don't know how to live alone and also don't know how to live with others. You should be good in one of these two things. You see? But then at the end of the day, the bitter truth is whether you like it or not, you came into this world alone, you go alone. So why so much fuss in between? Right? And it's because of not knowing how to live alone. Many people unnecessarily died during the COVID. Because before the COVID, every day there was like socializing, eating restaurant, things like that. Nobody's cooking inside, especially in the so-called developed countries. When COVID-19 came and then lockdown, proclaimed, then people don't know how to live alone. Oh my God. And those people who are practicing, I'm not a great practitioner, but even in my case, it was such an amazing time where you don't have to run for small things here and there. Just with my books of the Buddha, books of Nalanda, some books on education, some books on science, doing some little bit translation, and then cooking. I have no time, right? So therefore, it is really, really important to. So the real answer to your question is, I think I'm happy. I think I'm happy, despite that I've lost my country. Despite that, when I was young, when I was kicked out from my own home, I came with my parents as a small kid. I was a beggar. What else you can do as a refugee? I was a beggar. I was begging in some places in Nepal. I still remember that. Amma bikyado, give me something to eat. And my mother used to, shake her head and say, stop, with tears flowing in her eyes. Because we actually belonged to the upper middle class, relatively well off, even in Tibet. So suddenly we were expelled out from Tibet. So that was the situation. But I experienced not the most difficult thing, I think. Many people experience much more, difficult things than what I experienced. But I did experience a lot of things in my life as a refugee. So then thanks to His Holiness as a teacher, great teacher, and similarly other teachers, then Buddhist teaching. I'm not, maybe I'm right or wrong, I don't know, you to judge, but Tibetan community, for example, you can see, they are not perfect human beings at all. They are not special human beings at all. I'm not saying that they're unique, special, but because of the teachers and teaching, even as a refugee, they are relatively happy, smiling, doing their little business and singing. Every Wednesday they are singing and dancing, all those things, right? Right. So therefore, I can say I'm happy. But the main answer is, if you expect durable happiness by enjoying sensual pleasures, it is wrong. So make a clear-cut distinction between sensual pleasure and happiness. Pleasures that you experience through senses, by seeing something, touching something, eating something, tasting something, whatever. And then the real happiness that develop within your mind by transforming your mind. These two are two different things. Now, today in the world, everybody says I'm busy because they're chasing the sensual objects, nothing else. And then after having run, then they completely tired. That's the problem. So happiness is to be cultivated within one's mind by understanding the way things are, by understanding reality. Okay, yeah.
I work with children.
Yeah.
And from my perception, and also remembering being a child, I have always felt that there's an underlying pervasiveness of happiness or contentment that isn't necessarily something we have to strive for. Do you think that human beings innately have this wisdom, but somewhere along the way we get caught up in self-perception and forget about our true nature, which is ultimately goodness and of appreciation appreciation for what we have rather than searching for all these things.
Yeah, that's why mind training is very important. Unfortunately, we live with many other people who are mostly like innocent or ignorant, things like that. And then you compare yourself with others. Oh, he has a nice car, I should also have one. She has a nice house, I should also have one. That's the problem. That's the problem. And in terms of doing good things, we never compare like that. Oh, Dalai Lama is there, I should also be good like him. Not many people do that. But in terms of material pursuits, we compare. I should also become Bill Gates. I should also become Elon Musk. This, that. There's the problem. Right? Yeah,
Since you found yourself as a refugee when you were a child,
yeah.
what's something you found surprising or challenging in your journey to today?
In my journey, although I faced these small problems here and there, but luckily, because I studied Buddhism for many, many years and listened to teachers like his elders for many, many years, I'm able to clearly understand suffering is introduction to happiness. Challenges give you opportunities. If you run away from challenges, you will never learn any new lesson. So therefore, the mind training teachers, they say, suffering is the broom that sweeps clean your negative deeds. Misfortunes are your teachers. So when they come, don't feel unhappy. You see, there's the thing. There's the thing. Right? Yeah.
This is something that really get with me, and it was whatever good thing that you do, realize that it's good, practice it.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is a really wide way to see
Yeah, yeah.
good.
Yeah.
How can we be more sure that what is a good thing to do? Because like some other questions were like how to help, and like from where are you really helping and not just forcing people into change, and like always it's better to start with oneself, right? But then you need to detach from the idea of self.
The problem with us is before you take care of yourself, you plan to take care of others. Before you do the practice, you ask other people to do the practice. That's the problem. If you are sincere with your practice, with your teaching, if you live the life you really want to live, people will follow you. People will follow you. People are innocent and a little bit stupid, but not that stupid. They are also watching you, So they'll follow you. They'll follow you. Right? So integrity in one's commitment and life's practices is very, very important. Very important. And then there are so many people of different mental attitudes. If some people are not interested, it's okay. But the many who are interested, help them. It. Okay, yeah.
Dissatisfaction can be used as a tool. For example, the Buddha taught half of the world about Buddhism and said, okay, I'm satisfied, it's just half the world. Or he's like, I'm not satisfied, everyone needs to learn. As a tool.
Huh?
Like if a scientist was trying to get a cure for cancer and he was like becoming satisfied with his work and then went home and didn't practice more, but dissatisfaction led him to stay late and then he found a cure for cancer.
Then he found the cure.
Yeah, like can you use dissatisfaction as a tool to
Possible, you never know. You never know. Like for example, sometimes you need encouragement from other people. Sometimes you need a different environment to do your practice. So, yeah, you can't say, for example, yesterday I was watching this interview, press conference done by the ex-Slovakian president and the Estonian, a member of parliament. They were encouraging the Tibetans by saying don't get discouraged. We all remain under communist dictatorship. And changes come when you are not expecting it. So sometimes, your mind is really very tricky. Sometimes you really concentrate, then you are able to find those things. Sometimes, as you rightly mentioned, you are unable to concentrate, oh, I give up. When you say you are giving up, you are really freeing your mind. And that gives a new vista and enables you to see from another angle. So that is possible, yes. So pushing the mind too much is not good. So Buddha compares the mind training practice like the string that you use in the guitar or something like that. If the string, if you tighten it too much, it might break. If you make it too loose, it will not produce the music. So it should be off.
If you break yourself, but you are able to change the world and help so many people, isn't it worth it? Break yourself for other people.
No, then this is like stopping the very source of the water. But you can continue to many more. So therefore, like for example, Buddha, the reason that he became Buddha was that if I try to help other people, like as an ordinary person, I may be able to help some of them a little bit, not all of them. I might get tired. I don't have the wisdom. I don't have the knowledge. Even if I become very rich, distribute all the money available, that is not the solution. So the only way I can really help is to completely become omniscient so that I can foresee their past life, future life, present life, what really is their mental disposition, what is it that they really need. Then according to that, I give the treatment, right? So therefore, while you take care of others, it's important that you take care of yourself so that you are able to help many, many more people. That's why we repeatedly make long life offerings to His Holiness Dalai Lama, saying, please stay as long as possible. So similarly, in your case and other case of other good people also, you may be not the Dalai Lama, but you're a good person, helping many people. It's not necessary that to announce it to everybody and become like the Dalai Lama, It's not important. The important thing is you're doing the work on the ground level, so you're important. Number one, this life itself is called precious human life because of this mental intelligence. Now you are the one who is using this intelligence in the right way, so you become doubly important. So therefore, there's every reason that you take care of yourself and take care of your health so that you're slowly but surely able to help many more. So that's why like destroying oneself, even self-immolation, generally speaking, is not encouraged. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
How to deal with the manipulations of people who are at a higher place than though you can see through, but you are not supposed to do anything because you cannot.
This is very complicated. Many people ask me this question. Sometimes if you don't remain there, you will lose your job. As simple as that. But if there's no such risk, then don't remain under them. Change your job, do something else. But find a way not to remain under them. It's a small company you're working or something like that, do like that. If it is the rule of a president or nasty president, nasty prime minister, then at least you practice Gandhiji's non-cooperation movement. Don't vote for that person, right? You may not be saying anything, but if there are many people like you who doesn't cooperate, the government will come to a standstill.
Well, it isn't about any boss. I don't do a job. I'm a entrepreneur.
Then you are free.
I'm free, but I've experienced something with a Dharma teacher who teaches Dharma and not being compassionate and being biased and racist. So how to deal with such people where you go and pray them, you actually
Don't-
worship them.
I'll tell you one incident. One young lady came to me when I was working in His Holiness office. So with tears in her eye, she said, I have problem with this teacher. And so what should I do? She was married, has a husband. She has a problem with the teacher. Then I told her, was this teacher beneficial to you in the beginning? Yes, in the beginning, very beneficial. So that part, thank you, say thank you. Now this part, not good, say, I don't want to continue with you. That use your common sense. You're not, this is very good question. Many people get confused thinking that, and then sometimes some, I don't know, intentional or intentionally or lack of knowledge, some teachers say, when the teacher says something, if you don't practice it, you go to Vajra hell. This is the most stupid comment that I can think about. The so-called teacher is a human being, and in many cases, not better than you also, in many cases. Some may be better, many of them not better, because of situation he is sitting on the throne. Like in my situation, you see? Yeah. Really, honestly speaking. So just by sitting on a chair, you don't become special. Because of the fact that many people listening to you, you don't become very special. The important thing is use your common sense. If that person is really, that's why the Buddha spoke about 4 reliances. 4 reliances means rely more on the teaching than on the teacher. If the teaching is good, compassionate, then follow that. If the teacher is not good, don't follow that. Even if the teacher has many millions of followers, don't rush, don't follow that. Out of the 2, follow more on the teaching than on the teacher. When it comes to understanding the teaching, follow more on the meaning than on the beauty of the words. When it comes to understanding the meaning, follow more on the definitive meaning than on the interpretative meaning. When it comes to following the definitive meaning, follow the subtle wisdom, not the gross consciousness. That is the process. So always be free to use your common sense. Yeah. Yeah.
What's your advice on experiencing somebody?
Louder.
What's your advice about encouraging someone to know their own true nature?
Encouraging someone to know their true nature.
Their true nature. True nature, yeah, encouraging to know the true nature is think. Think. Not only about your body, even start with the body. That's why we have this practice called maintaining mindfulness. Mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the feeling, mindfulness of the mind, mindfulness of the phenomena. So start with the body. Now, even with the body, when you really think and explore the nature of this body, right now we hardly know anything about our body. We only know the external skin and small things, because you have many pictures of your face and things like that. But inside, how these organs are operating and functioning, how delicate they are, how fragile they are, you don't know. Because you don't know, you think that you can pop up everything. It's okay. It's not okay. The machines inside are very fragile. So if you develop that knowledge, you will be very careful about what you eat. Right? So similarly, now you think about the possibilities of mind. We do talk about body and mind, right? But you have any idea about what this thing called mind is? So think a little bit about it. The easiest example is an energy. Mind is an energy. Right? It's cognitive, clear, moving kind of energy, which is very forceful. Right? And it controls your life, controls your body, and then use this mind, which has the capacity to penetrate and explore and find the reality of everything. That's what you do when you study, right? So through that with analysis, you can find about the nature of almost everything. Yeah. Okay, one last question, maybe. Yes.
Yes, another question in regard to study. Many of the Shastras written by the Nalanda masters are quite beautiful, quite rigorous, but at the same time, they often seem to get quite cerebral or abstract from everyday experience. I think the best example is like the logic and epistemology of Vignana and Dharma. Lama some of them are very beautiful, but I find that though I really enjoy them, it seems to kind of be so detached from the spiritual because how you integrate your study into your everyday life.
I'll tell you one thing. If you're thirsty, you need to drink water, right? Is it necessary to drink the whole ocean? So drink enough water to quench your thirst, but no need to, no need to act like that person who is, sinking in the ocean and die of thirsty. Should not be like that, right? And as and when you get insight about some quotations, some part of teachings, that will encourage you to go deeper. So don't try to understand everything, And then it's important, if you want to explore some of the more technical, difficult text, then you need to go to a qualified teacher to explain this. Even in carpentry, we need a teacher. So good experienced teacher is important in that sense, yeah. Okay, thank you. So what should we say? All the good things that we did today, may this become a cause for happiness and peace and harmony all over the world. Thank you.
Very soon, which I forgot Geshe-La's April schedule. Send the Tushita courses in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's there, written there. It's written there. It's carved on the stone. Yeah, some blood on it. Yes. Okay, have a good evening. Happy evening.
Oh.
4 months.
Oh.
Thank you.